Did you see this yesterday? That special prosecutor Jack Smith is attempting to stop Trump from taking time at the appellate court and went straight to the U.S. Supreme Court asking them to rule in his favor so he can keep the current timeline to stop Trump from campaigning and derail his campaign, because it is election interference. We all know what's going on. But is it possible the Biden administration is planning something even more malevolent that goes beyond election interference? I kind of think they are, and we're going to talk about it. But first, welcome back, Patriots. Welcome back to Sons of Liberty 1773. This is indeed where men and women from around the world gather in defense of liberty. I'm your host, Bill Bailey, who will be channeling the patriotism of America's founding fathers. Today is December 12th, 2023, year of our Lord. You know, James Madison said, "The accumulation of all powers, legislative, executive, and judiciary, in the same hands, whether of one, a few, or many, and whether hereditary, self-appointed, or elective, may justly be pronounced the very definition of tyranny." So I got a couple short video clips I want to share with you, and then I want to read this article because the Supreme Court is already ruled. It came in late last night, and I'm going to share that, and then I'm going to tell you what I really think this wicked regime is up to.
Pretty extraordinary activity today by Jack Smith. Can you explain exactly what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, Jack Smith filed an extraordinary petition for the Supreme Court to hear the issue of whether President Trump has presidential immunity for what he did on January 6th. Jack Smith wants the D.C. Circuit, which is the appellate court, to not hear this and just go right to the Supreme Court. And there's a very sinister reason for why he's doing this. Remember, the Biden Justice Department waited 30 months to bring a criminal indictment against President Trump. And then they timed these 4 different indictments back to back to back to interfere in the presidential election. Trump is sitting through Tish James's civil fraud trial right now for the last 2 months for the non-fraud of paying back sophisticated Wall Street banks on time in full as agreed with interest. And then Jack Smith has his January 6th trial in front of Obama D.C. Judge Tanya Shukin, scheduled to start on March 4th. And then Alvin Bragg's is on March 25th. And then the Mar-a-Lago case with Jack Smith is May 20th. And then Fani Willis's January 6th case in Georgia's August 5th. It's just back to back to back. This D.C. case, Jack Smith's D.C. case in front of Tanya Shukin starting on March 4th, has like 13 million pages of documents that Trump's lawyers need to get through. They need to prepare for hundreds of witnesses. There's no chance that this can go to trial on March 4th and Trump get a fair trial. President Trump filed a motion to dismiss, saying that what he did is protected by the First Amendment if he did it within his personal capacity, or presidential immunity if he did it in his official capacity as the President of the United States. When you file for presidential immunity or any government immunity, you're supposed to stay the proceedings until these legal issues are resolved. And Jack Smith knows that if this goes through the regular process through the D.C. Circuit, and then they decide, they hear oral arguments, they take the briefs, hear oral arguments, put out a decision, and it goes through the regular process, and it goes to the Supreme Court, there's no way that Jack Smith can start this trial on March 4th. And that trial is going to be several months, 6-7 months of President Trump in a D.C. courtroom with Obama Judge Tanya Shukin instead of being on the campaign trail. This is blatant election interference by Jack Smith. He's not even hiding it anymore.
So it's totally election interference. I agree with him totally. And this is from yesterday on Bannon's War Room. I watch it religiously morning and night. And I agree with what he's saying there, Mike Davis. But I think the reason they need this timeline, and I'm going to tell you why at the end of this video, is really important to what their really wicked plan is for this country. And I'm going to share it. But there was a follow-up to this video with right after Mike Davis was Julie Kelly, and I want to share that next.
this criminal indictment. This thing is imploding so many directions. So it is a desperate move by Jack Smith. He wants the Supreme Court to blame for delaying this trial. And then what do? How can they put it off until what? May, June, July, when he's accepting the Republican nomination for president? We're all in uncharted territory, but this totally flies in the face of Jack Smith and Judge Chutkan's protestations and assurances that Donald Trump is being treated like any other criminal defendant. What Jack Smith did today proves that they are treating him differently, that he is a political target of this regime and this DOJ, and they will stop at nothing to force this criminal trial, not just down Donald Trump's throat, but all of us as well.
And Julie Kelly is right on top of this stuff. She goes to the courtroom. She sets through the court cases. She's been to a lot of January 6 trials, and she knows this judge is going to deliver anything but justice to Donald Trump. And this from the Gateway Pundit: breaking U.S. Supreme Court responds to Jack Smith's request for ruling on Trump's immunity argument. U.S. Supreme Court justices on Monday afternoon responded to special counsel Jack Smith's request to quickly rule on Trump's immunity claims. Jack Smith on Monday asked the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in on Trump's immunity claims. In September, Trump was hit with 4 counts in Jack Smith's January 6 case up in D.C. conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiring against rights. Notice there is no word in there anywhere about insurrection. Jack Smith is fighting to keep the March 4th trial date, one day before Super Tuesday, in his January 6 case against Trump in D.C. The only reason for this petition is to seek to guarantee a trial of Trump and possible conviction before the election, constitutional expert Jonathan Turley said. In a brief order, the Supreme Court signaled it would grant Jack Smith's request for an expedited consideration, folks. So the Supreme Court's ruling, we'll look at it real quick and we'll consider. The court's brief order did not signal what it ultimately would do. And I know Julie Kelly said that normally you need 4 votes from the Supreme Court, but in this particular instance, you would need 5. So that makes the hurdle a little taller for Jack Smith to get over. Here's what I think they're up to, and it's twofold, okay? Because this regime is evil. I think they're satanic. They don't care about Americans that love this country. They despise them, right? And look what they're doing to look what this judge Chutkan is doing to the January 6 protesters that were just everyday Americans exercising their First Amendment rights on January 6. She's giving them the max sentence. She's destroying families. The DOJ is sending SWAT teams in the middle of the night. We know all this stuff, right? And we all know that it's complete injustice and tyranny. I believe that this date is important, that this court dates, because number one, it's just pure and simple election interference. They want to hamstring Trump, right? Tie him up in all these court cases. That's obvious. But I think there's even something else going on. And Megyn Kelly alluded to this on Glenn Beck. She said that she's hearing from her source that Judge Chutkan is going to find Trump guilty. It's a rigged court. It's a clown court, right? It's a Russian show trial. Trump's going to be guilty, and she's going to put him in jail. And while he's waiting appeal, she's going to say, you have to stay in jail. And the reason they're doing this is they want to create civil unrest. They want to destroy America, the America First movement. Remember Biden at the Moloch speech there in the picture, where he said the greatest threat to democracy was the MAGA Republicans? They tried to destroy our movement on January 6th, and it failed, right? So they're up to no good again. And that's my feeling, what they're up to, that this is intentional. We'll see what happens as it plays out, but I put nothing past these people. let me know what you think in the comments below. You know, I love reading your guys' comments, but when Megyn Kelly, I mean, I would think she's got pretty good sources, is sharing that publicly. And she said that if they put Trump in jail, this country, you know, they'll burn the country will burn. I think they're trying to get a response, and then that will give them the reason to declare martial law and really crack down on patriots. I mean, I know it sounds kind of wicked and nefarious, but I don't put anything past these people, folks. Let me know what you think, though. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, tell me. I want to be wrong. Okay, I want to be wrong on the election interference stuff. I mean, that's just obvious. I know I'm right on that. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Check mark the notification bell. Keep praying and keep prepping. May God continue to bless this great nation, and may the good Lord keep you and your family safe. Until next time, Sons of Liberty out. See you guys.